To take care of the body is material science. To earn money in the world is material science. To run the affairs of the world is material science. But that material science will not suffice to cleanse your heart. This antahkaran of yours, how will you cleanse it? Anyad evahur vidyaya, anyad evahur vidyaya, iti sushrumadhiranam, ye nastad vichachakshire. The word Vidya comes from the root vid, which means knowledge that leads to awakening. Not any kind of knowledge. Knowledge that illumines, that enlightens. Hence in the Bhagavatam, Vedvyas has written, Tat karma haritosham yat. Karma is that which is pleasing to God. Sa vidya tan materyaya. Knowledge, vidya, is that which leads to love for God. So the mantra has given two categories. One is vidya and the other is avidya. Now, avidya could be a derogatory word, it could be taken for ignorance, but that is not the sense of it. Avidya is knowledge that doesn't lead to awakening. It is material knowledge. So he says that material knowledge has one fruit. Spiritual knowledge has a very different fruit. Understand both of these. What are the consequences of the two pieces, two branches of knowledge? One person went to an Ayurvedic doctor and said, Vaidyaraj-ji, I have got a terrible itch in my eye and also a griping pain in my stomach. The Vaidyaraj said, I have got sovereign recipes for both. So he gave an ointment and said, at night you apply this in your eyes and sleep. And he also gave some churn powder that you drink it with a little bit of water. He took the right medicines, but used them wrongly. So he drank up the ointment and his stomach became a watermelon. And he put that churn powder in his eyes and his eyes became like tomatoes. So he went to the Vaidyaraj and said, I have been outraged by your medicines. The Vaidyaraj said, they have always worked with so much of reliability. How did you use them? And then he realized they had been used differently. So understand what each thing is for. There is a material science and there is a spiritual science. Both have their utilities. To take care of the body is material science. To earn money in the world is material science. To run the affairs of the world is material science. But that material science will not suffice to cleanse your heart. This antahkaran of yours, how will you cleanse it? The Bhagavatam says that the devotees of God, because they attach their mind to the all pure, the mind gets cleansed and they start developing the virtues of the Devatas by the power of Bhakti. And those who don't do Bhakti and wish to develop positive thinking or great virtues, they are running on the chariot of the mind. Harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathe nasati dhavato bahi. So for cleansing the heart is the spiritual science. for uplifting your thoughts is the spiritual science. Now, that spirituality gets ignored, and that leads to all the problems in society. 100 years ago, when the mother was carrying, she would be reading Bhagavad Gita. Because the child's sanskar start developing from the womb itself. And that is why you had great souls coming, being born. And now when the mother is carrying, she is looking at the TV and now at social media. So imagine the sanskars that are getting created. The materialism is increasing and spirituality is disappearing. The Chinese travelers who came to India in the 4th century, 8th century, Yuan Sang, Fa Hian, they wrote greatly. They said, what a country this is. We don't see any locks on any door. There was a time in India, there were no locks. Nobody felt the need for any locks. Now there are burglaries going on. Every house has got a lock. What is the reason? Materialism has enhanced so much, spirituality has decreased. So what is the fruit of practicing spirituality in your life? Firstly, it takes you beyond this I, me and myself. The very I-centric worldview that we have, where we are concerned more about our toothache than anything else in the world. Let the world go to hell, my toothache should be all right. So people go a little above that. They start doing Rashtra Bhakti, devotion to their country. So this is going beyond the self. In one sense, it is not exactly there, spirituality. But at least it's making you lift your eyes up a little. Okay, I need to do something for my country. But then spirituality goes even beyond, because what is a little country? The whole earth is like a lump of mud floating around in space, in cosmos. It has got literally no significance. And in that one lump called the earth, there's this little place which you call my country. So when it comes to spirituality, Vedavyas says, Yasyatma buddhi kunape tridhatuke swadhi kalatradishu bhaumaijyadi yattirtha buddhi salilena karichit janeshva bhigyeshu sa eva gokhara. Such powerful words. He says that those who consider their birthland as worshipable but don't love God, those who take bath in the holy places but don't cleanse the mind, those who go for pilgrimages to sacred lands but don't meet the saints who reside there, their intellect is like gokhara, like the animals, because that spiritual aspect has not yet been awakened. Spirituality teaches you your connection with the whole. It teaches you your connection with God and thereby your connection with everyone. Spirituality presents you with a sense of purpose. This is the higher purpose of my life. Spirituality gives you a knowledge system on the basis of which you can create your beliefs, your values. In this problem situation, what should my priorities be? How should I define the goal of my life? Spirituality gives you life transformation tools. How do you manage your mind?
There is a shooter in the United States considered the second best shooter ever in the Olympics, Mark Emmons. However, in the year 2004, when he was participating in the Olympics, he was leading the field all the way in the 50-meter rifle shooting event. And in the last shot he had, he was all lined up for the gold. He shot the wrong target. So the shooters, they are like this and the targets are there. Now if you confuse the target, you shoot at your neighbor's target. He lost his position, his gold, everything. So the next Olympics he went, 2008. And this time, he was all set up. I must win. And he was again leading the field all the way. But just the last shot, you lift the rifle up like this, and the trigger got pressed because of his nervousness. And he fired up into the air and he lost his medal again. So he went to a psychiatrist, and the stress builds up, and I make mistakes. And what to do? So he underwent therapy. And in 2012, again he went for the Olympics, and halfway through he was leading the field. But again, he lost his position and did not win a medal. Inability to control the mind. On the other hand, consider the example of an Indian cricketer, Irfan Pathan. He recently retired. So when he was a new cricketer, India had the final of the Commonwealth cricket against Australia. It was a critical, vital match. The 50-over matches, one-day internationals. So the last over, Australia needed 12 runs. And they're the world's #1 team. And the last bowler's job was to contain the run rate or to get the batsman out. Irfan Pathan was a new bowler and he had conceded runs by the dozens. But Mahendra Singh Dhoni threw the ball to him. Now the pressure was on. He handled it so well, he did the best bowling of his life and India won the match. Later on, the reporters asked him, "How did you handle the pressure? The whole country's victory or defeat was in your hands and you were a novice." So he was from a very poor background. He said, "I thought about my father, the amount he struggled to bring 3 of us up in life. And that was the real struggle. He had to battle day in and day out to get the bread on the table for us, hungry youngsters. What I had to do here was nothing in comparison. Just ensure that they did not get 12 runs in the 6 balls." So the way he handled his mind, he just completely changed the perspective. There are tools for mind management. Spirituality gives you these tools. So spirituality enables you to become a better person. In fact, spirituality puts your whole life in perspective. Otherwise, we are so busy putting out the little fires here and there that we lose track of the bigger picture. What is my life for? Dante was a very famous Italian poet. He wrote that in my midlife, I suffered a crisis. Everything I was so passionate about, writing, literature, music, arts, all of a sudden it lost value. And the big existential question was, what is my life all about? So this bigger question is addressed by spirituality. That is why spirituality is like the one in front of all the zeros. If it's gone, then what remains? But with it, everything gets added. You can use music spiritually, you can use art spiritually, you can use science spiritually. So this mantra is saying, understand there is avidya, there is vidya. Both have their different utilizations.